Oh, there we go. Yeah, it also helps to take the mute button off, huh? All right, so how about we start this all over again? I told you I wasn't very technical, so thank you very much for your patience. I'm getting instructions here from Stogie, one of our producers, and it's a little different when you're doing something like this. There's no producer in the studio. It's me, right? So I have to learn this whole program myself, and it's for someone who's not particularly technical, it's like, oh, I've got JP Poole is giving me advice, Stogie's giving me advice, and Mark Edward Lewis, who is our sound designer, who does all the great sound for Axanar. As a matter of fact, he did this piece, and this is one of my favorite pieces. So let's kick off right off the bat with. Yes, I love that piece. That is great. Not only is that Tobias Richter piece of the Geronimo class, fantastic, but yeah, the sound, Mark, boy, he is good with that sound, and that is just one fantastic piece. So I'm going to try and adjust. Give me a second here. Stogie wants me to adjust the bit rate because I guess we're a little laggy, which also could be, it could also just be I'm going to close this out, and let's go here. Well, as I was saying, as I was on mute, and I will tell you again here, oh, hold on a second. I'm going to ask, hold on one sec. All right, people. I'm trying to. My apologies here. I'm trying to, because we cut off the feed before. I've lost my link here to us, so I can see all of your comments. So give me a second here, as we. Well, there we are. All right. Come on. Yeah, I think my internet here may be a little laggy, folks, so please forgive us. I'm going to do a speed test and see what everything is. All right, so let's get right into the comments. Okay, so I was saying before is this is the first Axanar t-shirt ever made, so I thought it was appropriate that we wear it now. Hopefully you can all hear me now. All right, there's the video. Are we 5x5, as they say? Hey, everyone. Hopefully, let's see. No sound. No sound. All right. How's that? Is that better, folks? Loud and clear. Yes, we got it. All right. So someone say is way too choppy, huh? Well, my internet it's the house internet right now. It looks like it's a little slow. So my apologies there. Let's see what this is telling me. Oh yeah. The internet sucks right now, I hear. That's why it's choppy. Got good sound. Everyone's saying good sound. So, yeah, unfortunately, I'm not sure what's the problem with the network. So, let's. Oh my God! Thank you very much for all the comments. I've got to enable the slow comments because I can't read you all. But it looks good. Thank you. So let's go. Oh. Yeah, you don't want to hear that. Okay, so thank you very much for coming. Hopefully the internet's going to resolve itself, and we're going to get a little better there. And sorry for the choppy video. But Axanar Confidential, what is it? Listen, you guys are all fans of Star Trek. You're fans of Axanar. We're fans of Star Trek. We're fans of Axanar too. And we wanted an opportunity to really talk what happened with Real Trek, which the program we launched last week, which did very well. Thank you. We were really excited about that. We have another episode coming up this week. There was a lot of Axanar questions. And with all those Axanar questions, I really didn't want that Real Trek to become an Axanar show. So because of that, oh, look at that. Egotastic Fun Time starts off with the super chat for $1. Because JP Poole from Egotastic Fun Time, if you're not watching him, you should. He's amazing. And I will have him on Friday. He will be our guest on Real Trek. And we'll be talking about the Orville season 2. So really excited about that. Fan of Orville. I just finished watching the 4th episode of Orville on demand on TV, which was really good. Really good. I was really impressed with that. I think, listen, I wasn't a big fan of Geloja, but the first one, but it seems like it keeps picking up. So, so just fantastic. So the last episode was really good. So JP Poole, Egotastic Fun Time, thank you very much for the super chat. There's Mark Robluski for $1.99. Thank you very much. Hey, if you guys have questions, shoot it. I'm glad you're all Orville fans. I am too. It's really great. You guys have just been fantastic, and in the enthusiasm for the Orville, we run one of the Orville groups on Facebook. Just because we're Orville fans, and we decided to start a group. There will be no spoilers. Don't worry. Yeah, if you've just started the season, I won't tell you. Other than episode 4 is really, really good. Alec, please have Neurotic Channel Gary be on your show. Yeah, I love Gary. Gary's awesome. Neurotic. Yeah, if you're not a fan of Neurotic, actually, right after I talked to JP Poole, I talked to Gary from Neurotic, and they're both just. First of all, they look like each other, and I know JP. I've told you this before, so. Hey, Fred Hensley, thanks for the $5 super chat for his T-shirt order. We've got some things coming. I'll talk to you about, but so Gary at Neurotic is awesome. Matthew Winsad, Wizenand, $2 super chat. Thank you very much. Hey, here's my dream. Everyone's like, oh, don't you wish that CBS would have hired you to make Axanar? Yeah, of course we would. That would have been awesome, right? But that's kind of dream stuff, right? That's like, they're CBS, whatever. That's not the way Hollywood works, right? But wouldn't it be cool if Seth MacFarlane was a fan of Axanar and said, you know what, we need to have Captain Garth on the Orville? I mean, what a great slap in the face to CBS that would be. So, that's my thoughts on Orville. I love it. I love Seth MacFarlane. I love everything he does. My girlfriend is really, really big into Family Guy and you name it, all that Seth shows there. And yes, I'm glad the frame rate is improving as well. It's still shitty here, looking at my speed test that I'm running. Sorry for that. Hopefully it improves. I'm also getting Keith M. Cedar, who is the co-host, who's the host of the Axanar podcast. He's a Mac tech, so he's going to be cleaning my computer this weekend, just like going in and scrubbing the whole thing. B. Winstead, $5.01 super chat. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And Adega Outlaw, who was thank you. You were there before too. He says, I tried to give the other night, but was too dumb to use the slider. Welcome to the technology, media remediation class, because I'm the same way. It's like, where's the ONOFF switch on this thing? And then we got Spectre in the Air, $10 super chat. Thank you. Love Prelude. Just watched it for the first time over the holidays. Can't wait for the next Axanar episode. Well, thank you for watching, and I'm glad you finally found it. We've got people who are on like their 30th viewing. Shockwave's like, the ability to destroy a planet is insignificant next to the power of the Force. Crossing the streams there, buddy. You're on the wrong YouTube channel, but we love Star Wars too. Let's see what questions. So here's some things. Look, I've got to mention, by the way, before we get into the nitty gritty, we do have a Patreon campaign not for Axanar, because we're not allowed to publicly fundraise for Axanar, just so you know. You will have to be on our email list if you want to donate to Axanar, because we can only privately fundraise for Axanar. But we will be doing that. But in the meantime, we have a Patreon for the studio, for Ares Studios, which is the home of the USS Ares bridge set, which hopefully you've all seen. In the meantime, thank you, Daniel Q. Mitchum, for the super chat, and Reverse Polarity. Thank you. You guys are awesome. And but we have a Patreon for the studio, and it's good. It's slowly picking steam up. I think, and let's see if where we are now. But we have been slowly creeping up to the $700 mark, and we're at $692 right now. So hopefully some you guys will join the Patreon tonight, and we'll cross the $700 barrier. So the studio has a Patreon campaign because the studio costs me $4,000 a month to run between rent and utilities, and I've been paying that out of my pocket for the past 6 months, and I'm not rich. So we started a Patreon campaign, and we started the YouTube channel. And the YouTube channel has taken off and is bringing us revenue, which is great. It's bringing us ad revenue, and that's where John Streckis, we know him as Stogie. He's our producer. He's the YouTube channel, the guardian of the YouTube channel. And he's been managing that whole thing, and we are about to cross like $600 a month in YouTube revenue. So add that to the $700 we got on Patreon. We're about $1,300 a month towards the $4,000 a month studio, which is awesome. So hopefully another month or two we'll cross that threshold, and I can't thank you guys enough. It's awesome. So anyway, I was just going to say what I got in today, which came in, which are benefits for Patreon patrons, is the Ares Studio patch. How's that? Real excited about these. Now, these are going to everyone who donated back in a year and a half ago when we had an Indiegogo campaign to literally move the studio across the country. They donated. Back then it was for Industry Studios, which became OWC Studios, and now it's Ares Studios. So that just came in, and that's going out to all those 300 or so. I think there's 310 donors. And this will also be available for patrons in the Patreon campaign. You'll be able to buy that. So that's it. And then the really choice one. And by the way, Lee Sully, thank you. You are awesome. Lee, I have not sent out your prizes from Real Trek, but I got your information, your emails in my inbox, and I will be getting out to you. Here's the other one. How cool is this? The USS Ares construction team, Starfleet Corps of Engineers. So this is another one that will be available to Patreon patrons. Tyler X2F01, $5 super chat from Canada. Thank you so much. Captain Garth for captain of the sister ship, the USS Redenbacher. Is that its sister ship? I don't remember seeing that one. I thought they were all named after Greek gods. Maybe I missed something. Thank you. Oh, look at that. Felix Reiner says, I just deactivated my ad block just for you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Oh, someone wanted to, did everyone see this patch okay? Did everyone see that? I'm going to show it to you again. It's a thing. We are total geeks for our patches here at Axanar. If you gave in the Kickstarter, if you gave in the Indiegogo, you know about that. Okay, so someone says, how do you get on the mailing list for Axanar? You have to go to our website, and when you go to our website, if you go to the top portion there, it says Axanar newsletter, and subscribe to our newsletter. You'll be on the email list and get updates there in the top nav bar there, right under the big black nav bar that goes across the top. Third one in, Axanar newsletter. So go there and sign up there. Thank you very much. So questions about Axanar. What do you guys want me to talk about? What are you interested in? How can I enlighten you as to the behind the scenes of Axanar? And I'll start by just kind of telling you what we've said on our updates. So right now we are working on Ares Digital 3.0. Now, Ares Digital is the digital perk fulfillment system that we have. We had Ares Digital that was rebuilt as Ares Digital 2.0 by Bill Waters. That was rebuilt, or is being rebuilt now, by my good friend Jerry Ablin, who is the Chief Technology Officer of my technology company, AuctionWorks, that we started back in 1999. And we've been friends ever since. He's a dear friend, and he's a brilliant technologist. So from what he's telling me, he sounds like he's about 3/4 done with Ares Digital. Once Ares Digital is done, all donors from all the campaigns will go through, enter your current contact information, your current address, your if your email's changed, all that, you'll enter that, and then we'll start shipping perks, namely the patches from the Indiegogo campaign. I went over those. If you look in our YouTube, we have donor videos that tell you about the patches. So these are from the Indiegogo campaign. We also have patches from these are the patches from the Kickstarter, the Axanar Kickstarter in 2014. There were these two plus the Fifth Fleet. And then the Indiegogo campaign were the Fourth Fleet, which was Teller, and as well as the Sam and Sonia ship patches. So that's it. Matthew Wizanan, $5. Super chat. Thank you. I am from the USS Joshua here in Irving, Texas. Thank you. Thank you very much. We appreciate the super chat. And yes, please look, the Patreon, you can be a donor for $2 a month. $2. That's nothing. And then, listen, I'm a donor to JP Pools, Patreon campaign for Egotastic Fun Time, and just because he is such a fantastic resource for us, he's been so nice. I ask him questions all the time, and he's always right on top of things. So I've done that. But at the $5 level in the Patreon campaign for the studio, also you can get all the videos from Axacon. And we just uploaded the first video from Axacon, which Stogie has been working diligently on, and he really did an amazing job on it. And it's an interview with Albert Martinez, who did Chasing the Infinite Sky, and that's for all the Patreon donors. That's up there now. Eccleston Angel, all hail Alec Peters, savior of the Star Trek universe, $5 super chat. Thank you so much. That's greatly appreciated. Listen, I tell everyone all the time, I'm a fan like you guys. I've been a fan of Star Trek since 1966 when I was 6 years old. Yes, I'm old. I'm 58. And I've been a Star Trek fan ever since. And I love it. And I love the tech. And I love the canon. And I love the timeline and all that stuff. And by the way, you're going to ask, people are asking about the patches and the models and all that stuff. All that stuff we'll fill you guys in on later. So yeah, just stay tuned and there'll be information on that. Yes, patches. So the patches from the Indiegogo. So Jerry's finishing Ares Digital 3.0. Then we ship the Indiegogo patches. Then we will do our fundraiser, which again, because of the settlement agreement with CBS and Paramount, we will not be publicly advertising it. We will not use Kickstarter or Indiegogo. All of the fundraising will be done privately, probably on Ares Digital itself. And it's really meant, CBS was, they were generous in letting us raise as much money as we need. We're not limited by the guidelines of $50,000, which are the fan film guidelines, but they didn't want us publicly advertising it, which, whatever. Okay. So we'll do it private. And so many of you have said, look, we want to give again. We believe in you. So thank you very much. So that's kind of the timeline. So once we do the fundraiser, then we can schedule the shoots. Probably 3 days in LA and 1 or 2 days here in Atlanta. We'll see how it goes. So anyway, listen, and one of the great things, I've said it before, and I'll keep saying it. We do this because we're Star Trek fans, and there was a lot of stuff. When this lawsuit was going down, first of all, the guidelines came out, right? Now, everyone should know that I had been asking CBS for guidelines for 4 years. From my first time up at Star Trek New Voyages, when James Cawley invited me to play Garth for the very first time in 2010 in the never-released episode called Origins, I had been approaching CBS and trying to get them to promote fan films and trying and saying, can you provide guidelines? And back then, they didn't want to say anything. They were like, we're not going to tell you. We can't do guidelines. And I talked to John Van-Sitters, who's now brand manager for Star Trek and who was the head of licensing for Star Trek. And I talked to Liz Kolodner, the head of CBS licensing, of all CBS licensing. I met with her in New York in her offices, and I met with her I think I met with her in Vegas as well. No, I met with her on the Paramount lot. We met as well. And then I talked to Bill Burk in 2013. And literally, he told me, I was at the Star Trek Las Vegas convention, and I had been pushing him, hey, we need guidelines. We need guidelines. And he said to me, I can't give you guidelines. He said CBS would literally have to have the CEO of CBS and the CEO of Paramount sit in a room talking about nothing but guidelines for Star Trek fan films, and that's never going to happen. Well, that wasn't true. Okay, when they needed to give out guidelines, they gave them out. There was no will to do it before then, right? So before the lawsuit, before things started escalating, they just we'll just deal with it on a case-by-case basis. And then what happened is Star Trek Renegades. They come out and raise $382,000 or so. And then we come along and we see what they're doing. And Renegades was a great little production. And we go out and raise $100,000 for Prelude, knock it out of the park with Prelude, which, of course, because we have a great team behind it. And then we raise $650,000 for Axanar in 2014. So that's when, CBS was saying, hey, everyone, they literally said everyone's getting a little out of control, right? They saw all this money being raised. They saw we were paying professionals to be involved. We were getting all these Star Trek actors involved. And I say I mean Renegades, Star Trek New Voyages, Star Trek Continues, us, right? All of had raised a lot. Continues was raising hundreds of thousands of dollars. New Voyages, I ran one of their campaigns for them. Other than that, they weren't really good at raising money, because it's an organization thing, but anyway, and they're kind of I like New Voyages. It's kind of the grandfather of Star Trek fan films in a way, but CBS was seeing all this and they were getting nervous, and they told us when they saw the Vulcan scene in 2015, they knew they had to do something. Now, I had been a CBS licensee. Okay, for the 2010 Star Trek prop and costume auction, I sold all the assets of Star Trek: The Experience, both at a warehouse sale we did and at the auction. I helped them. We rescued. We emptied a warehouse full of, actually 2 warehouses full of stuff from the Star Trek Experience. We housed it in our warehouse in Orange County, and I was volunteering because their archive, the Star Trek archive, was a disaster. It was just so low priority for CBS, and they were getting taken by some of the exhibitors, and the costumes weren't being taken care of. So I was volunteering my time. I basically inventoried everything for them and did condition reports and stuff. So anyway, John Van-Sitters knew me well. Mallory, the lawyer, knew me. Liz Kalodner, the head of CBS licensing. Bill Burk, the head of CBS consumer products. So in 2015, right around the time of our Indiegogo campaign, I email Liz Kalodner and say, hey, Liz, look, we're raising a lot of money and we don't want to step on your toes. So how about we have a meeting in Las Vegas, right? Why don't we have a meeting in Las Vegas? By the way, thank you, James R. Belts, for your $2 super chat. We really appreciate that. And so anyway, we had a meeting. Liz said, hey, John Van-Sitters and Bill Burk are going to be in Vegas. Meet with them. So great. So I'm literally holding a Star Trek prop and costume auction at Las Vegas 2015. We were official exhibitors, had a whole room to ourselves. It was really impressive. If you were there, it was very impressive. We even had Marina Sirtis come through to see her costumes. I mean, we did an auction there. And it was successful. It was very successful. So I'm there for that. And then I take time out, and we had a meeting with John Van-Sitters and Bill Burk. And same thing. It's like, look, guys, I want to work with you. I'm not trying to, we're not trying to make money off of Star Trek, but we're raising money and we're trying to do good Star Trek. And of course, there's no Discovery at this time. So they say to me, and this is the major thing that came. First of all, they made it clear that everyone was stepping over the line. They felt New Voyages, Continues, Renegades, us, everyone was raising too much money and getting too professional. And I said, give us guidelines. I said, do you want a licensing fee? I said, I'll give you 10% of everything we raise. I mean, that's your standard licensing fee. They said, no, we can't do that. All right. I said, well, give me those guidelines. And they said, and here's a quote. We can't tell you what you can do, and we can't tell you what you can't do, but we'll tell you when you step over the line. Okay. So, and I left that meeting, and by the way, I mean, this is the time where Star Trek Renegades is going around saying they're a pilot for Star Trek. And I had conversation with Sky Conway, and I said, Sky, don't call yourself a pilot. That has implications. And I was talking, I'm talking to John Van-Sitters, and John Van-Sitters even said to me that he felt that was fraudulent. So what happens? 6 months later, they sue us. No letter, no phone call, no cease and desist, a lawsuit. And considering my relationship with CBS, I was like, that's a little heavy-handed, right? Can't you guys, couldn't you guys like give me a phone call? And so yeah, so I'm not sure I understand. Siri, keep quiet. So that's not that story. I mean, it could have been better handled if CBS had embraced all fan films and taken action early. Like maybe sometime during the 4 years I was asking for guidelines. And there was a real easy way to do it, right? They could have embraced fan films. They could have put out guidelines. You don't want us to raise too much money. You want to, listen, the horse was out of the barn. They sued us 30 days before the start of principal photography on Axanar, the feature film, right? So we were ready to shoot somewhere about 35, maybe 40%, probably 35%. We were going to get done, and that's when they sued us. Now, but being this is Axanar Confidential, let's talk about a few things here. So that was 2015. We were ready to shoot in 2016, probably February 2016. And when they sued us, we had $268,000 left in the budget, which was going to cover the first 35%. We had done the Vulcan scene on $15,000. We kind of knew what we could do. We figured we arranged the shoots so that we could shoot the first third and get it out. Ooh, Captain Spire, $10 super chat. Alec, I'm originally from Mount Vernon, New York. My father got his hands on some Brad Nelson props and been a fan as long as I can remember. Are there any other actors helping promote Axanar? Shatner? No. Thank you, Captain Spire, very much. He says he's from Mount Vernon, New York, because I grew up in Scarsdale, half the time in Scarsdale, which is right down the road from Mount Vernon. So I'll talk about the other actors, Captain Spire. Thank you. Right now, Gary Graham and J.G. Hertzler are the main ones. Kate Vernon is... we're waiting to send her the script, and then but everyone else we're not telling you. Horner Tim is saying that CBS should have hosted a site for fan films versus blocking them. Agreed. Look at the way Star Wars handles fan films. With love, they respect the fans, they encourage it, and they give them guidelines. Hey, just don't do this, don't do that. The new Vader fan film, right? They went to Lucasfilm, and Lucasfilm said you can't fundraise, you can't do this, that, and they still made a pretty awesome film, right? And it does nothing but benefit Star Wars. But CBS doesn't get that. Now, CBS sued us, right, December 30th, 2015, and we settled 13 months later. So, rather than suing us and incurring 13 months of bad publicity, Justin Lin, the director of Star Trek Beyond, comes out and says they shouldn't be suing their fans. J.J. Abrams comes out and says they shouldn't be suing their fans. So rather than all that bad publicity, and basically CBS was like, well, You're making money off Star Trek, whatever. How about if they had said, you know what? This is so good, and we can't have you competing with us. Robert M, $5 super chat. Thank you very much. Illinois. What if CBS had said, Alec, we can't have you doing this on your own. How about if we bring you in and you do Axanar, and we're going to give you some rules. We're going to put our people in, manage your money, whatever, and we get Axanar and we're going to put it on Star Trek, on the Star Trek channel, StarTrek.com. Fine. That would have been great. Think of how CBS could have created a whole new model for how Hollywood interacts with new content creators, right? That would have been amazing. Think of all the positive publicity they would have gotten, right? That would have been insane. I mean, as it is, we were in every trade. We're Variety, Deadline, Hollywood Reporter, as well as, you name it, Rolling Stone, Forbes, Wall Street Journal, blah, blah, blah. And then Newsweek in their 50th anniversary of Star Trek Special Edition spent 4 pages talking about us, calling us the ultimate fan film. Well, what if that had all been channeled into positive energy for CBS? They would have been hailed as visionaries. Wow, look at the way they're working with these creators, right? And instead, they sued their fans. That wasn't a good look. And what it's done is it's created all this resentment from their fans. Not all of them, but fans who are there are a lot of fans who are in the know who are really not happy. So anyway, I think there was a better way to handle that, right? That's the bottom line. There was a better way. And people say, would you have sold Axanar to CBS? To which I say, sold it? I was ready to give it to them. In fact, we literally told them that they could have it. We were like, just let us make it. Let us raise the money we need on Kickstarter and Indiegogo. We'll make it and give it to you. And you do whatever you want with it. Let us fulfill all our perks to our donors and put it wherever you want to put it on Start. Right. I wanted nothing. And we had a top-level Hollywood lawyer who knew the head of the legal team over there at CBS, who said exactly that to him. The lawyer was like, well, we would never buy Axanar from Alec, to which our guy said, he'll give it to you for free. And their lawyer was like, what do you mean give it to us for free? I mean, because these are Hollywood lawyers. They don't get that we're fans who do it because we love it. And he was like, yes, for free, you can have it. So they had the chance to take Axanar. And think of it if they had put Discovery on All Access and put Axanar on StarTrek.com. I bet you Axanar would have outrated Discovery. But, that's not the way it is. So we still get to make 2 episodes of Axanar, another half hour of Axanar. It's going to be the Star Trek you guys want because we're all on the same page there, right? And then we'll go on to make other stuff because we have some killer ideas that you guys are going to love. And, oh my God, the super chats are just coming like... You guys are amazing. I got to scroll back here because you guys are just out of control. Thank you so much. It looks like we're getting our audience back. There's 375 here now. So let me make sure I get all of the super chats. Barry Renshaw, £5, Great British pounds. Alec, hi Alec from the UK. Have loved everything of Axanar. Any chance we'll see Axanar in comic book form? If so, can I draw it? There are already Axanar comic books. There's 2 out now by Trey McElwain, right? And there's 1 coming from Jonathan Lane, who does Fan Film Factor. So let me make some shout-outs here. Trey McElwain, Axanar super fan. He's a vet tech down in Houston. Super nice guy. Met him and his wife. We love him. He's like Axanar fan number one. He's crazy Axanar fan. And he said, I'm going to make a comic book. So how cool is that? Axanar, the ultimate Star Trek fan film, if you will, has its own fan works. The meta is killing me. It's crazy. We're so honored by that. So yeah, anyone who wants to do an Axanar comic, God bless you. Come on, we'll help you, we'll promote you, whatever you want to do. We're in it for you, right? And that's what we do with Trey. So yes, so we don't have his comics linked on our site, but I will post that link up. Maybe Stogie, you can put it in the comments. You can put the link to Trey McElwain's Facebook page. Tall, dark, handsome 34, 1999 super chat. Thanks. Fight the good fight. Support Axanar through Patreon as well. Let the fans show them how strong as a group we can be. Yes. Listen, what you do by supporting Axanar and supporting our Patreon for the studio is show CBS this is important to you. Look, I'm not going to bash Discovery. Okay, that's not my gig, right? I'm not a hater, but I just read a great comment today. Was it who? I forgot who it was now, and he said to me, "You know, Alec, I saw Discovery, and it doesn't suck. It sucks as Star Trek, but it doesn't suck." And that, listen, I'm not one to say Star Trek's not Discovery. Discovery is not Star Trek. I'm not one to say that. It's a different Star Trek, right? I happen to like two-thirds of JJ Star Trek I liked. Maybe a little less than two-thirds because you got to take out the motorcycle from Beyond. But and I see Discovery as alternate timeline Star Trek, right? We've talked about this before. We talk about it on Real Trek. But I'm not a hater. Star Trek is Star Trek. The more Star Trek, the better. All right? So, but we as fans have got to tell CBS what we want. Right? And John Van-Sitters, who was head of licensing for Star Trek, and just got elevated to brand manager, and he's a Star Trek guy, right? We became adversaries through the lawsuit, which was a shame. But I like John. He's a huge Star Trek fan. And I think they elevated him to put some reins on Alex Kurtzman, right? But CBS doesn't really care about all of you who don't like Star Trek Discovery. Right? That's just not important to them. And the word, and now listen, this is like third hand, so take it for what it's worth. But in his pep talk to his, I guess there was an email went out or something when John Van-Sitters was elevated to brand manager for Star Trek. He said they wouldn't be held hostage by fans or blackmail. They wouldn't be blackmailed by fans, something like that. Well, no one's holding you hostage and no one's blackmailing CBS. Fans are just saying, we want a different Star Trek. That's not the Star Trek we want. Now, again, I watched Discovery. I liked it. It's not prime timeline. Don't feed me that crap. It's an alternate timeline, which is great. Just own up to it, and you can do whatever you want to Canon. And then we don't, and won't have all these arguments. So God bless. But you know what? Fans want old school Star Trek. Okay, Matthew, let me get some super chats out of the way. Matthew Black from New Zealand. Dude, thank you. We love I've never been to New Zealand. I cannot wait to go. Australia, New Zealand is like the last. That and Hong Kong are the last places on this earth that I really, really want to go. Probably like to do an African safari too, like a photo safari. But anyway, Matthew from New Zealand, God bless you, thank you. Mac Fire Eagle, okay, 20 pounds, so I guess, or 20 euros, excuse me, 20 euros. So you're from Europe. All right, dude, live long and prosper. Lysandru, who's named after a famous World War II British airplane that I love, $5. Lysander knows. I built that Airfix kit as a kid. Celine Driver. Isn't Celine who did the they did the Boss 302 in 2007, 2008. They did that Boss 302 tribute. I think it was Celine. Loved it. Anyway, love to know what kind of Celine you drive. Oh, it's Dane Bash from Facebook. Yeah, and also a Patreon donor. Thank you so much. We've spoken before. Keep this up, Alec. Will Ares 3.0 show all rewards from both Kickstarter and Indiegogo? Absolutely. Jerry's got all that information. We went through the databases and all. So, yeah. That's great. Greg Dagnan, $10 super chat. Thank you. Having held my breath for 5 years, I'm just delighted everything is back in motion. Thank you for not relenting. Also, being that you are in filming in Georgia, if I can assist, please keep me in mind. Greg, message me. We have a special group for Axanar volunteers. Okay? So, please let me know. Okay, we're just... let me get through here. And... one of the things that I get a kick out of this. Let me just hold on. Let me take care of this guy here. We get from time to time we get trolls in here, and those trolls get deleted. And then Christopher Butcher, $11 super chat. Axanar is number 1, 2 times. Thank you, sir. Thank you. That's great. So anyway, that's kind of where we are. Things. What my thought is on CBS and Star Trek. Look, I'm not going to pay for all access. Matter of principle at this point. And it's really. I wish it's success because it's Star Trek, right? But I wish CBS was a little more expansive in its view of what they would allow fans to, because there's some really good fan stuff. Oh, there, Derek Law. Hello, Alec, from Derek from Isla Vista, home of the UCSB Gauchos. That's right, I know that because when I was coaching volleyball at USC, we used to play at UCSB all the time. And wow, that's a great school to go to. Thank you for being a fan. And anyway, that's my thought. Okay, so here's another troll, who you're gone, and you're gone because you're an idiot. Sorry, I have no time for trolls. He asked a question about our warehouse. So we have this tiny group of psychotic haters that follow Axanar around and stalk me. I mean, 2 of these guys are legitimate cyber stalkers. And the rest of them are just knuckleheads who have no life, who just want to hate on Axanar and me. And it's kind of pathetic, but whatever. And so their latest thing is we're losing the lease on Ares Studios. Because we haven't hit our number in our Patreon. Well, dumbasses, I've been paying for that studio for 5 months. What makes you think I can't keep paying for that studio? I would just like to, spend my money on some other things, like maybe Axanar rather than Ares Studios. So that's what the Patreon's for. But these idiots, they're yelling and screaming, Alec's going to lose the studio. No. There is a plan, though. Depending on how much money we raise, we may move to a smaller building, because the landlord is building a brand new building next to ours, and they have a 3,000 square foot facility where our current facility is 6,000 square feet. So we could go from $3,600 a month in rent to $2,100 a month in rent by taking smaller space. Now, that would mean that we could only have the bridge set, and maybe we'd squeeze the captain's quarters in there. So I'd rather stay where we are, but we're going to have to, the Patreon's going to have to do well. The YouTube is going to have to do well. And so far, right now, we're about $1,300 a month. So we're doing real well, considering we just started this process like 3 weeks ago. So these trolls, they're just hysterical. So anyway, that's that. So I'm going to answer that question just because that came up today, and we are laughing. We have a little group that goes after the trolls, and they were like, do any of these guys have a job that involves business management principles that they could understand how this works? So anyway, that's it. Planner the Cable Guy, thank you. You are a regular, and we love you. Thank you so much for your $2 super chat. I appreciate it. Wait, we have a $20 super chat too. You guys are insane. You're so good. I love you guys. Who's let me see my Twitter. Brian Fredline, keep up the great work, dude. Thank you. That's so generous of you. Honored. Planner, any orthographics full BPs coming for Axanar ships? Yes, there are. Alexander Richardson, who is one of our art directors and just awesome. He does like the header cards for all our videos. He's working on deck plans for the Ares. So, yes, absolutely. And then Nigel Mayo, how much screen time will Garth get? Can't wait to see you on screen again. Very well done for keeping Jesus. Thank you, Nigel. Thank you. There was a gentleman messaged me yesterday and said, wait a second, I heard you're not playing Garth again. You were so good in Prelude. And I thank you. Being that I'm not an actor, anytime someone says something like that, it totally blows me away and makes me blush. And thank you. As I've told people, I was just trying not to embarrass myself because you're with Richard Hatch and Gary Graham and J.G. Hertzler and Kate Vernon, and I'm in the studio watching these guys, and they're amazing. And then it's like, oh, okay, Alec, it's time for your close-up, Alec. And you're like, oh my God, just don't embarrass myself. And fortunately, listen, I will say that Christian Gossett, who was the director at the time, the one thing he did really well was work with the actors, including me. And so I have him to thank for his help in bringing Garth to life. Nigel asks, how much screen time will Garth get? And thank you very much for the compliment, Nigel. Well, listen, Axanar is the story of Garth of Izar, but when we're doing the format we're doing, Prelude to Axanar style, the documentary style, Garth just becomes part of an ensemble, and he doesn't get that much more screen time than anyone else. He's just part of the ensemble. Now, since it's Garth and he was the guy in charge of the battle, people will talk about him. We'll see his vision in what's happening. But certainly for the next 2 episodes, my goal is not to have Garth have any more screen time than anyone else. Right? I think that makes sense. Especially because, JG, Gary, Kate, whoever else is in, you want to see them. And you want to tell a story. And it's a bigger story than Prelude. It's the battle. So Prelude had 6 characters. I think the next 2 episodes have 14, 16. So, yeah. So there we go. So anyway, thank you very much, Nigel. Always appreciate it. One Shepherd 1, €25 super chat. Thank you. Gosh, that's so generous of you. Love Old Trek. And OFC Axanar, keep up the good work. God bless you, Shep. I appreciate that so much. And then Julian Fortuna, thank you again. Julian, I think you donated the other day, did you not? Live long and prosper, everyone. Greetings from Germany. And live long and prosper to our German brothers. Thank you so much. Chuck Vowels, $10 super chat. Thank you so much. Hey, guys, when you send a super chat in, ask me a question, right? That's you jump in the front of the line. It's the fast pass at Disney. Take advantage of it. Thank you so much. God bless, and I appreciate it. By the way, guys, listen. Whether you're religious, I say God bless all the time, not because I'm some hardcore Christian or anything. I say it a way of expressing my appreciation and my wish for blessings for you and your family. I don't care if you're Christian or Jewish or you're a Muslim, a Buddhist, or whatever is your faith. If there's anything we know from Star Trek, which is secular, it's a secular vision of a utopian future, is tolerance for all languages and all cultures and all sexes and all people. Okay? And I'm a firm believer in this. Tony T, 1999 super chat. Thank you so much, sir. Very much obliged. William Smith, 1999 super chat. What about the bridge sets on other ships? Federation, Klingon, Vulcan, and Dorian. Okay, good question, William. We have a bridge set, and the Ares bridge originally was envisioned with computer monitors, so we could change the screens. So every ship, Vulcan, Andorian, Tellarite, had a different color scheme, right? And so that's kind of where that came from. So you were going to see different sets that way. We have Klingon bridge pieces. We have a captain's chair. We have consoles. And we have a 3D model of a Klingon bridge. So we were going to green screen that. So hopefully that answers your questions. And thank you very much, William, for that. I think Tony T, I mentioned you already. Thank you. He says, thank you for keep up the good work. BT Lewis won $20 super chats. Thank you, sir. By the way, all this super chat money goes to the studio. Since we cannot publicly fundraise for Axanar, it all goes, everything we make on YouTube and through Ares Studios and the Patreon all goes, to Ares Studios, which, of course, is open for any fan film to shoot on. And we have the students of Gwinnett County, where we're located, the high school video production program, they use the studio as well. So thank you. So all this money is going to Ares, supporting Ares Studios. So thank you. Tulik, €5. Thank you. What's so special with euros and super chats? Is it because at 4 a.m. here and you don't expect Europe to watch? Exactly, Tulik. Thank you so much for that. 10 pen. What? Someone enlighten me what a pen is. Axanar fans from Peru. I guess that's Peruvian currency. God bless you, dude. Peru. Wow. Muchas gracias, mi amigo. That's my bad Spanish. But I have one of my dearest friends is Mexican, Paloma Alvarez, and we went to acting class and we became best friends. And she gets a kick every time I say something in Spanish because she's like, "Oh, you're so white." Anyway, BT Lewis, sorry I never made it over to volunteer, but plan to help out when I get back to Atlanta from my TDY to beautiful Northern California. Be midsummer if all goes well. Really hope to be part of the production. Would love to have you. Thank you so much. Let's see, did I miss any super chats here? Wow, gosh, you guys are amazing. Keep doing good work. So, wow. You guys are crazy. Thank you so much. We just love you guys. Let me answer some questions. Can you broadcast an episode from the bridge of the USS Ares? We don't have good enough internet there. We don't have internet in the studio because we're not there often enough. But maybe we can because James Simpson talked about doing something. So let us work on it. Thank you. Reverse Polarity, that's a great question. Let us work on that. Real Trek, thank you. Yeah, that's why the name of our Star Trek show is called Real Trek, REEL Trek, but it's a double entendre. Alex, super love from Toronto, Canada. You are the man. Thank you. God bless you. Prelude blew everyone away and stomped CBS. Did you say you are not an actor? I am not an actor. I have studied acting. Richard Hatch was my first acting coach back in 1994. And God bless him and rest his soul, my dear friend Richard. I attended acting classes with Howard Fine and with Ted Brunetti. Howard Fine is Chris Pine's acting coach, Bradley Cooper's acting coach. He's one of the top guys in Hollywood. I attended classes with him, and then with Ted Brunetti, who's a very famous acting coach who's on Broadway right now, and with Richard for a couple years. So I studied it just so I could be, an acceptable amateur. But thank you very much. What else we got? Talk a bit about Tobias Richter and his VFX work, please. Oh, you want me to talk about Tobias Richter, the guy who does... Yes, Tobias Richter. We love Tobias Richter. He's amazing. I mean, what would Axanar be without Tobias Richter? I showed it before. I'm going to show you again because it's worth seeing. I mean, it's a thing of beauty, right? So we love Tobias. He's amazing. And you'll see his work pop up in all sorts of fan films and independent films, and because he's great. He's really good. I mean, if he was over here, he'd be working full time. So Fernando, or let me say again, we cannot publicly fundraise for Axanar. This was part of the settlement agreement between CBS and Paramount and myself and Axanar Productions. So when we do go to fundraise, it will only be to people on our mailing list. So if you want to know how to get on our mailing list, go to our website. There's a link at the top in the black bar. And that's why all the super chats here, that money goes to Ares Studio. Okay? Technically, Ares Studio is producing this video. We just happen to be on the Axanar channel because that's where all the fans are. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you click the bell icon to get notifications, right? Do those two things. Please go and sign up for our email list on axanar.com. So let's see. Well, let me get through some more questions here. And by the way, that a great way to get your questions answered is to send them to me in advance of the show, because it's really hard to get through all of the chat on the right. Okay, and I don't want to constantly be looking over just for questions. I'd like to have them in front of me, so please send them to me in advance. Yes, Tobias is amazing. Good day from Melbourne, Australia. Love the show, Grimmy. Thank you very much, Grimmy. Peace and long life down in Australia. Melbourne is a beautiful city, I hear. Really great. So thank you. How about a company like Eagle Moss made a model of the Ares and put the ship as a prop? Yeah. Everyone asked that question. I guarantee you the number one most requested ship from Eagle Moss that they will never make is the Ares. And why? Because CBS. Okay. What can I tell you, man? I wish it too. I wish there was an Ares. I love my little Eagle Moss. Although my problem with Eagle Moss is they're all different scales. It kills me. Because I'm so OCD that way. But I get it. But it would be cool. Matthew Black says Richard Hatch was a good friend of ours. He was our National Sci-Fi Convention guest in 1999. It was hard to lose him. It was very hard to lose him. He was the first person in my life, the closest person I ever lost. Because when I lost my grandparents, I was kind of young. Really didn't know them that well. and I still have my parents here. So losing Richard, who's one of my best friends, yeah, that was tough. I went into. I'll tell you all that we went to the hospital to see him, and this was in maybe a month before he passed, and he was in relatively good shape. He had lost weight, but it wasn't as bad as it was in the end, and he told me, he said that he regretted he wasn't going to be able to make Axanar. Of all the things to say when you're dying from cancer, and I told him I loved him, and he told me he loved me, and we hugged, and that was the last time I ever saw him. And so I loved Richard. And so what we're doing in the next 2 episodes is bringing in a new character, Moreau. And Moreau was Karn's mentor. And he's awesome. He's great. He was a fun character to write. Because, he's like part Yoda, part he's kind of like Kang in Blood Oath and DS9, right? Old and gray and not moving so fast anymore, but still a badass. And then Jin Yoon Moy, forgive me if I mispronounced your name. Hi, I met you a couple years ago back at Denver Comic-Con. It's great to hear this Axanar is back on track. What has been the biggest challenge getting a 90-minute story down to 30 minutes? Now, I did it a year and a half ago, and it wasn't as hard as I thought, and it was so much fun. Yeah, I mean, in a way, as they always say, as a screenwriter, you can never be afraid to kill your children, meaning the things that are most precious often need to go. So it was interesting, but the end result is so awesome. And people have read it. Keith M. Cedar, the host of our podcast, read it, and he was blown away, and he was smiling, and he thanked me for keeping the faith and all. So I think you're going to love it. I started reading it again. I hadn't read it in about 6 months, and I started reading it again, and it's pretty good. So hang tight. We can't wait for you all to see it, to see what we say. Do you guys have a composer for the film? Yes, the great Alex Bornstein, who did Prelude. Why can't you make the feature and edit? Wait a second. Thank you. Yes, is there a 3D printer model of the Ares? There is actually a resin kit of the Ares. So yeah, you can find that online, not from us. The retro vet. Have you paid Jonathan for the envelopes he stuffed yet? Okay. Yeah. Another troll. I just like, oh my God, you guys are. Don't worry, Eccleston Angel. Yeah, I got rid of him. Look, folks. What is with being an asshole on the internet? What part of you thinks that's okay? And do you think you would ever see a Bill Gates or a Bryan Singer or a Martin Scorsese being a troll on the internet? You name it. Name your favorite overachiever. If you're a troll online, you're wasting your life. So go away, okay? If there's one thing people know about me who've met me is I don't suffer idiots. Alec, I hope this is not a rude question, but how is your relationship with Paramount Pictures? They do own one part of the Star Trek franchise. Yes, they own the rights to make all the movies. I don't have a relationship with Paramount, right? Probably everyone who was involved in the lawsuit there is gone because it's not doing well. Paramount is not doing well, Me, $1.99 super chat. Well, thank you, me. That's very nice of you. Would you do a show with Doomcock Overlord? Is that the guy who did the Vader film? The Vader fan film? So I'm sorry, I don't know. I'm old, so I don't get the reference here. Let me. God, my internet sucks today. I apologize. We'll be much speedier next time after Keith M. Cedar gets done cleaning my computer. He's like, he took a look at it, I guess, quickly. I sent him some screenshots. He's got, oh my God, you got all sorts of malware in your computer. Tell me who Doomcock Overlord, or someone tell me who Doomcock Overlord is. I would like to know why some people feel this need to troll a fan film. It's a medically serious itch to pick on a beautiful film. Yeah, there's just some pathological crazies out there. I mean, I had a friend say to me today, and he wrote to me, and he's like, "How do you deal with these idiots, Alec?" He says, "I couldn't take it." I told him, I said, I just have to laugh at them. I said, I'm doing something I love, something that we did really well, and for whatever bizarre pathological reason they feel the need to troll me. Okay, so who objectively is on the top of the food chain here? Who's doing the right things with their life? It's pathetic. So I don't know why these people need to troll, but yeah, God bless. So let's see, what else do we have? Someone that we got Doom. So, has someone told me who this guy is? Alec, do you plan on doing anything with Star Trek Online? Anthony, I had gotten a lifetime membership when it was a pay service, and I played for a month or so. And people are trying to get me to set up a Twitch channel and stream Star Trek Online. So I may wind up doing that. Let's see. It's great. It's a great game. Matthew Marone, who did the early patches for us, is one of the art directors there. So love those guys. They're awesome. So maybe. Sean Lane, $10 super chat. Thank you, sir. Okay, how do I get a t-shirt like yours that looks like Axanar patch? Stay tuned. Stay tuned. What else we got? Alec, do you plan on holy heck, how can you go to Paramount and make it can you go to Paramount and make it a movie? Well, I don't know. They're not making Star Trek 4. Maybe they should need to talk to someone who can make Star Trek on the cheap. Scott Leach, why so many trolls? Trolls are so frustrated with their lives and they try and ruin others' lives. Yes, that's exactly it. Trolls are miserable people who are so miserable in their own lives, they're trying to drag you down to their pitiful level. And again, they're never it's not the guy who's the CFO of the healthcare company who's a troll. Who is it? It's some guy who's got some crappy job and he's so miserable that he's got to try and fuck with you. Just laugh at him and move on. Doomcock is a YouTube commentator who is supportive of Axanar. I'm going to look him up. Thank you. I'll absolutely look him up. Yes, Vader was Star Wars Theory. Yes, that's right. Disruptive Innovator. Thank you very much. Doomcock does Star Trek reviews. I'm going to look him up. Thank you so much. We will look him up. So maybe we'll all look up Doomcock. Doomcock Overlord. Wow, I got to get in touch with this guy, huh? What will mood of Axanar more like the Wrath of Khan or more like the Cage? Well, that's a really interesting question. Well, Wrath of Khan had the military aspect to it, right? It had the battle aspect to it, right? The Cage is like the best Star Trek pilot. I mean, you got the Cage, Emissary's pretty good, Caretaker's not bad, right? Encounter at Farpoint sucks. And what's the Enterprise one again? Sucked. So the Cage is arguably the best Star Trek pilot, right? And it's a brilliant Star Trek episode. It's just everything that Star Trek is. It's intelligent. It's thought provoking. It challenges your assumptions about gender, because we have a first officer who's a woman back in 1966, 50. I love the Cage. It's brilliant. Matter of fact, I did the scene with Pike and Boyce in his quarters, where the doctor comes in and pours him a martini. We did that in acting class because it was a great scene and it was relevant to Axanar in a way. So the mood's going to be, honestly, I'm not sure if I can give you a mood. It's going to be like Prelude to Axanar in the documentary form. So, but it's going to be more action-packed and it's going to be more characters. So I'm not sure I can put my finger on the mood for you. Like all the greats, is there any prop you're going to keep after Axanar is done or want to? Oh, I don't know. Maybe Karn's sword? Yeah, I mean, I've got the badge that Richard wore on Chang's uniform. I own General Chang's uniform from Star Trek 6, and that's what we used for Richard in Prelude to Axanar. But we changed the medallion on his chest, and we changed the baldric. So that is something that I have too. It wasn't a prop heavy show, so we'll figure out some props for the next two episodes, and I'll have them. Like all the excuse me. Raymond Moore, Alec, trolls still live in their parents' basement and never kissed a girl. Trolls are just now we're getting on a rants about trolls. Hey, let me tell you. Okay, and no politics, Raymond. No politics. Let me tell you, there are so many these trolls. They love saying, like one of the things they always say is, Axanar ruined fan films. Axanar didn't ruin fan films. If CBS themselves said that the guidelines were in response to what everyone was doing, to the arms race that John Van-Sitters put it, but they want to blame me for ruining fan films. I don't know. There are more fan films have come out in the 2 years since the guidelines, since the 2 years before. So it's hard to tell me that they ruined fan films. People will say, here's the other great one that trolls say, $1.4 million and you produce nothing. Well, obviously, you're an idiot who didn't pay attention to anything we're doing for a year and a half leading up to the lawsuit. All the sets we built, the studio build out, everything we did, and we accounted for every single dollar, and not any money went to me. But they all love, lying about that stuff. I got news for you guys. We don't care. If you're a troll, you're pathetic. So let's move on to happier things. Let's see. Season 2, episode 1, I assume you're meaning Discovery, is pretty stellar. I have not yet seen it, and I will. What else we have? Have you considered approaching the new CBS list? Oh, listen. Yeah, no, they're. As long as John Van-Sitters is in control, I'm sure that there will never be any change. He's just, it's the status quo there. And that's, listen, I'm not knocking John Van-Sitters because, as I told you, I like him and he's a smart guy and he's a big Star Trek fan. But he's a corporate guy. He's going to do what CBS wants. And there's a reason all the innovation in this country comes from Silicon Valley, right? Kevin Rose. I think it was Vic Mignogna who publicly slandered you, which was wrong. Yeah, listen, this is Axanar Confidential, so you're going to get some dirt too, right? Vic Mignogna, I can't stand the guy. And if you understand, love him or leave him, if you understand Donald Trump, you understand Vic Mignogna. He's a narcissist. Against my better judgment, someone wanted to invite him to the premiere of Prelude to Axanar, so I reluctantly did, and he stormed out, didn't wait for the Q&A, and then immediately went telling people that I must have embezzled money because there's no way I could have spent $70,000 on Prelude to Axanar because he said he could have shot that in his garage. And even this past week, he is still talking shit about Axanar, right? He was on some radio show with Adam Nimoy and Mark Cushman, and one of my good friends was supposed to be on the show. You know who he is, very famous Star Trek person. And Vic started talking shit about Axanar, and this guy sent an email to the producer and said, I'm out. If you're going to allow that nonsense, I'm out. It's like, Vic, Star Trek Continues is good. Be proud of what you did. Stop trying to talk shit about other people, right? I mean, it's just, I can't, I don't have time for that guy. So there you go. That's my take on Vic Mignogna. So, someone's saying makerspace. Some innovation comes from the makerspaces in Middle America. Yeah, 3D printing's changing the way a lot of things are done. Let's see what else. Try and keep politics off here, guys. Axanar, we like to be politics free. How do I feel about the death? The death of the Kelvin universe. Well, listen. I like the original Star Trek JJ movie. It was imperfect, but I liked it. And I'm sorry they couldn't make Star Trek 4. I really wish it had continued. Listen, here's what JJ did. And let's face it, it was the Bob Kurtzman's old partner who was a Star Trek fan. Someone tell me. Old age setting in. Anyway, who said, yes, we need to make this an alternate universe. We can't rewrite Star Trek, right? Oh, that's brilliant. So basically all us Star Trek fans said, all right, it's not the original. It's an alternate timeline. That's cool. I felt that they respected us so much by making JJ Trek, the Kelvin universe, an alternate timeline. And that's my problem. That's the respect we didn't get from we didn't get that respect from Alex Kurtzman. They could have said alternate timeline. I mean, they use the word reboot in their tags when they're putting their videos on YouTube, right? Robert Orsi, thank you. Roberto Orsi, yes, thank you. Star Trek fan. He's the one that pushed for the alternate universe. God bless him, because he knew. He's a fan. There you go. Oh, listen, if you're someone saying, taking offense that I insulted Vic, I'm just telling you what Vic was doing, bad-mouthing Axanar and slandering us. I'm sorry, it's the truth. I'm not here to slander anyone. I'm just telling you what happened. That wasn't me who went out and talked smack about his production. So yeah, listen. It's called Axanar Confidential. It's not called Let's Be Political About Star Trek, right? Yes, and thank you. Insulting someone who repeatedly lies about him in public isn't public, it's personal. Yeah, listen. Vic, I just told you, Vic is out there talking smack about Axanar. Do you hear me talk smack about Star Trek Continues? No. You know why? Because there's a lot of good people who put in a lot of good work on Star Trek Continues, right? Now, I don't have a problem with Vic, who's a 60-year-old guy playing a 35-year-old Shatner. All right, God bless. Your register's way too high. Considering you're a voice actor, your register for Kirk is way too high. But okay, you want to do that? That's fine. There's so many good people in Star Trek Continues. I think Todd Haberkorn did a very good job as Spock, especially in the Mirror Universe episode. Let's face it, Chris Doohan was brilliant as Scotty. There were so many good actors in there, So I'm not going to talk smack about Star Trek Continues. Vic can talk all the smack he wants about Axanar. That's not my style, right? Fan films are fan films, and they should be celebrated. I am always celebrating Vance Major Owen's Star Trek fan films, and he does them with like iPhones on cardboard sets, and he. God bless him. He's so awesome. He's made like 18 Star Trek fan films. Now, listen, he's not going to win any Academy Awards, right? But hey, he's doing what he loves doing, sharing his passion with all of us. And whether you like them or not, or you watch I'm good with that. I'm not going to talk smack about someone's fan film. I mean, I think they're all a celebration of Star Trek. So yeah, there it is. Listen, it's Axanar Confidential. You want honest opinions. You want it. This show should be, whoever you are, you and me go out and have a beer. I'm going to tell you what I'm going to think about Star Trek or Axanar or who worked on Axanar. Yeah. John Paul says James Kohler talks smack about Axanar. Yes, sadly he does. We used to be friends. In November of 2015, we shot a vignette called Heroes, which is about Garth coming back to the Enterprise after the events of Day of the Dove. Whom Gods Destroy. And a month later, the lawsuit comes out, and James disowns us. Disappointing. Love Star Trek New Voyages. I was producer on a few episodes. Helped get the Katoomba footage back from Vic, who had refused to give it to the New Voyages guys. I helped him get it back, and then we took that footage, and my friend Mark Edward Lewis, who's our editor, and I finished post-produced Katoomba for Star Trek New Voyages. Actually, that was Mark. I mean, I didn't do much in the post-production process, but I love Star Trek New Voyages. The early episodes are epic. And my good friend John Muntrath, who helped me start Axanar, he's Dr. McCoy in the early episodes of Star Trek New Voyages. Mind Sifter, which Mark Edward Lewis directed, is an amazing fan film episode. There's great stuff in fan films, right? And we should all be celebrating each other and not getting down. I mean, it's just, unfortunately, fan films is like high school. I hate to say it, but it is. What are you going to do? But I've met a lot of great people in fan films. I really have. And if you haven't seen the Tessarian intersection from Starship Exeter, It's one of the first. It's probably the first of the modern Star Trek fan films, and it's also one of the best. Actually, the first episode was Savage Empire. Tessorian Intersection probably was after New Voyages started, but it's still one of the 5 best fan films of all time. So there you go. Someone says you have a few shields behind you. It's like, which one is best? I know. I'm a big Captain America fan. That one over there is a screen used Star Trek, the First Avenger shield. Star Trek New Voyage is also known as Phase 2. Have a beer with Alec. You can always have a beer with me. You don't have to make it a fundraiser. Just if you're in town, let me know. Let's see what else. Netflix is suing CBS as well as the guy who did the Tetragards. He's suing CBS. I really love how you were able to tie Star Trek Enterprise with Axanar. Yeah, well, listen, it's got to fit in the timeline, right? And this is one of the things we do, is we really think about these things. And how does it fit into the continuity, right? Thank you. Thanks for recognizing that, because that was important. You know, originally the character Saval was supposed to be Sarek. And then as I started thinking about it, I was like, wow, well, Saval will probably still be around at that time. It's only 84 years later. And so maybe we use Saval, and maybe he's at the end of his career, and maybe Sarek is his protege. And so, so that all worked into the full Axanar script. Guys, let's keep the discussion on Axanar. If you want to talk Star Trek Discovery, that's Real Trek, which is on Friday nights. Thank you, Danger Dave. Axanar is a work of art. CBS should bloody fund it as a series. Thank you very much. Given the time frame of Axanar, do you think we might see the Proxima class on screen? Remind me what the Proxima class is. Trimber Fox, what's the Proxima class? Please bring a convention to Indianapolis. That's not what we do. Nordic Rune saying, don't push the pink skins to the thin ice. Listen, of everything I did on Prelude, my favorite line, right? I wrote that line. Don't even remember how I came up with it. I was like, oh, we need it. And it was like, I was thinking of Shran. I wanted there to be some callback to Shran. That's how that line came about. And, there's a great story, which I've told before, but I'll tell you all here. There's a great story about that line. And so Gary was on set, and he was filming his lines, and he did that line. And it didn't have... Now, I'm the producer, so I'm not involved in talking to actors on set. That's not my job, right? But I think Gary did it twice. And I wasn't happy with it because I didn't feel like it had that connection to Enterprise. So I went over to Christian, the director, and I said, Christian, tell Gary that line refers to Shran. And so he goes over to and he tells Gary that. Gary looks over at me and kind of nods. Gives me that, now I get it. Next take, bam! He nails it. And it has that. I mean, look at it. Look at him say that line. He's talking about Shran, an Andorian acquaintance of mine. I mean, he's talking about Shran. And that's what a great actor does, right? A great actor has that quality where he conveys with his body, with his intonation, with every aspect of his senses, because he's tapping into what he's talking about. And that was awesome. I mean, so that's like one of my favorite pieces of Prelude. I thought I'd tell you guys. Let's see what else we have here. I'm sorry, it's jumping around. Yeah, the New York sets are now the museum. Proxima is a 4 nacelle battleship way later in the timeline to the Battle of Axanar. When is the Proxima class? When do we see the Proxima? Isn't that a next generation ship? You will see Andorians on Axanar, be winced. And the Axanar era shuttlecraft, you see it in Prelude to Axanar, so that's what it looks like. Whom Gods Destroy was on H&I last night. Classic. Garth was a genius. H&I is Heroes and Icons, which is a channel that it just has Star Trek all afternoon. So, thanks for doing the live show and all you do for Axanar Ares Studios. Sorry to sign off. Hey, no problem. You can catch this. This will all be up on YouTube, so you'll be able to watch it again. And please do put it on in the background. Let the commercials run. Make the studio a couple bucks. Well, Larry says Star Trek is about exploring, not battles. Well, not really, Larry. I mean, Gene created the Romulan War, right? Gene created, Errand of Mercy. There's always battles in Star Trek. This is one of the fallacies, is that Star Trek is not about war. No, it's not. Star Trek is about everything. Star Trek is about how human beings react to stimuli in the 24th century. That's what it is, and that's what Axanar is. Axanar, yes, it's a war story, but it's a story set against the backdrop of war. It's about people, because great war stories about people. I said it the other night on Real Trek. So I'm going to disagree with you. I'm going to tell you that war stories are people stories. Thank you. You want us to make other fan films? Thank you. I'm not sure we're going to make other fan films. We'll see. But let's see. Any Axanar events coming to DragonCon? Maybe. Excuse me. Just met someone from DragonCon who wants to get us in again. We haven't been there in a couple of years. Shram was played by a great actor, and it was indeed one of the best parts of the Enterprise. Yep, Jeffrey Combs, who I had lunch with. We actually talked to him about playing a Klingon. Actually, I talked to him about playing Moreau back in the day. He didn't want to play a Klingon, which was a shame, because I felt like that he could have done justice to that character. ZEF Films Productions, $5 Canadian. Thank you. The ship scene comes with a huge inspiration for my Star Trek Online cinematic videos. Hey, send me a link. We'll take a look at them. We'd love to chat to you. Any chance of conversation with Cryptian, I assume you mean Cryptic Studios, Perfect World, to get the Axanar ships in Star Trek Online? Same thing. They'll never get in Star Trek Online. CBS will never allow it. Whoops. I wish there was a better interface for me to read all the questions. What else do you guys got? Yeah, Star Trek and sci-fi are wonderful because it's human stories about the human condition. Right, exactly. It's the human condition. It's about people and how they react to things. So, what else we got? Proxima is a twin secondary hull, 4-engine nacelle, original series style ship from Star Trek Legacy video game. Oh, okay. I'm going to look it up online. How's that? Let me take a look. Star Trek Proxima class. Huh? Let's see how bad my internet is. My internet still suck today. All right. I'm going to images. Let's see what this looks like. Oh, interesting. Okay. All right. I got it. That's interesting. Well, it doesn't fit into the Axanar universe, but that's kind of cool. I love starships. We can talk starships all the time. Alec, I love your rants against detractors. Keep it up. Dude, listen. They just Oh, they're so pathetic. It's so funny. It really is. And that's my attitude about them. It's like, okay, listen, all the time they spend trying to troll us, it's time they're not spend doing anything productive with their life. And that is reward in of itself. That, it's like, so in all the time there have been Axanar haters. What's this now? 3 years? Has any one of them done a Star Trek fan film? Has any one of them? I mean, have you heard of any of these people? Have they achieved anything? They built any sets? They built a film studio? What do they do? Ugh. Whatever. So I don't worry about them so much. You shouldn't either. I'd rather see a Yorktown class Star Trek Legacy than a Proxima. Okay, that's cool. Yes, I will. Thank you. Someone says contact Doomcock. I absolutely will. Sean Lane have to go back to work. Lunch break is over. Hey, God bless you, Sean. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Thank you for all your time. Hope you finish watching the video while it's online. Smoke and Mirrors. What is your and Tobias' opinion on respecting Gene Roddenberry's canon definition of starship designs? Agree or different opinions? Are you talking about that Gene once said there shouldn't be single nacelle ships? Is that it? We disagree. I guess, because we already have the Triton class. Or the Triton. Was it the Triton class? Yeah, I think it's the Triton class. Let's see. I'm looking for other good questions. I keep reading a question, then it pops forward because you guys are just on fire. My wife asked if you ever were contacted by a big company to produce Axanar, let's say like Netflix. No, we've never been approached. Yeah, I'd love to do something for Babylon 5. I'd love to work with J. Michael Straczynski. We love Babylon 5. We talked about it on Real Trek. So yeah. I should name a pack lead Sean. Yes, because my cyber stalker is named Sean. Yeah, so yeah, I don't think we're gonna have Pat Lance and Axanar though. Have you thought about approaching Netflix for Axanar? No, we can't do that. Kyle Clements, just wanted to thank you for everything you're doing to create more great stories within the Star Trek universe. Thank you, Kyle. Thank you for watching. We did a film, USS Excess, here in New Zealand in 1991. Had a good bridge set, was shot on VHS, as HVHS. The visual effects are certainly crude by modern standards. Show us. Matthew, find that video. We want to see it. Yeah, let it. Okay. Yeah, and also, hey, let's just remember the number one rule in the chat room here is quoting our patron saint Dalton from Roadhouse. Be nice. If someone says something nasty, be nice. What else we got? You guys are still just like on fire, huh? Have I considered including any Klingon ramming attacks? Why do they have to be Klingons ramming? Tellarites or Andorians in your story? Yes, you will. Tellarites, we're working on the makeup. That's a little tricky, but yep. So Alec, in TMP movies, it stayed the phasers are powered by the warp drive, implying this wasn't done before. Our phasers are powered by the impulse fusion reactors. What's your take on it? Yeah, I mean, TOS kind of said, TMP kind of made that something for that era. So, right. What's the plan for the Axanar channel after both episodes are released? Will there be Ares Studio channel? Probably. We'll probably move it to the Ares Studio channel. Just because, what do we have? 72,000, subscribers. So, we're not going to waste that, and kind of honestly, we've been wasting it for the past 2 years. We should have been producing video content all this time. I mean, it was really Stogie who about 6 months ago, we're playing World of Warships online. my favorite game. And Stogie just starts berating me about we need to monetize the YouTube channel. Finally we did, and Stogie will not let me forget that he told me 6 months ago. So we will continue. Yes, we will continue to produce videos of all things because this is fun and we love doing it. Yes, we will have subtitles on the new episodes. What about Crazy Starfleet? Captain ordering a total last resort ramming attack. You guys are really into ramming attacks. Kay Vernon has been. She is not under contract yet. Yes, so no, not yet. She's waiting to read the script. Will you be featuring any Mako or Starfleet Marine battles? No. Listen. First of all, Mako is an Earth force. It is not a Starfleet force. Okay, so I think they even addressed that in Star Trek Beyond. Excuse me. And we have something akin to Marines. We have black shirts in Axanar, and they are basically serve as Marines. Same idea. I mean, if each ship had their own SEAL Team 6, right? Someone asked. I'm trying to scroll. Oh, is that a couple more? Look at you guys. All right, in Prelude to Axanar is the D6 based on the Abrams Warbird design. That was Tobias, and I don't really know his inspirations, but they kind of look similar, huh? Is there any way to support Axanar right now? No, we're not fundraising for Axanar until we get the patches for the Indiegogo out. And we will not be mentioning it publicly, because that's part of the settlement agreement. So the only way to find out about our fundraisers is to be on our email list. You want to be on our email list? Go to our website. There's a link at the top. It says Axanar Newsletter. Go sign up there. Charles Williamson is in the house. Hey, Charles, how you doing? He's a vet. We thank you for your service. Starfleet battles try to define the warp-powered phaser banks in TMP with super batteries and minor aegis like fire controls. Okay, a little above my pay grade there. But love to talk that stuff. Yeah, if you want to talk tech, and maybe we'll have a special Axanar Confidential that is just tech. Wirewolf Gaming, $5 super chat. Thank you. Here's $5 for reading my comment. Also, when you have time, you should look at the Yorktown class legacy. Yeah, I will. Yeah, I absolutely will. Alan Volant, $5 super chat. Thank you, sir. Much obliged. I love my friends in Canada. I love Canada. God, I swear to God, if you guys just weren't so damn cold. But I love that country. And I love the people. The Canadians are awesome. They are really nice. Yeah, I love my Canadian friends. Whoops. Slide on by. Yes, if you want to know about Shipboard Marines, ask Charles Williamson, who's awesome. What else have we got? There were some questions up here. Have you read Return to Axanar by the FASA? Yes, FASA is an inspiration for our Axanar. We love that stuff, so absolutely. Absolutely. Jeffrey Combs is a fantastic actor. He is indeed. He's amazing. Wayun is just awesome. He's so slimy. What else? That's right. Up, Commander Solaris. $20 super chat. Jeez Louise. Thank you so much. That's righteous. The Wolves of Kerensky have claimed this chat for their own. What tame dogs defend it? Just messing around. Love what you've been doing, guys. Can't wait to see the end result. Hey, Solaris, thank you so much, my friend. Live long and prosper. We appreciate it. That's really generous of you. All the super chat money that we raise, and in the future we'll have PayPal up available as well. Is all the money is going to Ares Studios because it can't go to Axanar because we can't publicly fundraise for Axanar. So thank you very much. What else we got? Do I have a favorite Star Trek episode or show? Well, as I've said before, excuse me. Deep Space Nine is my favorite. All right, and Cisco's my favorite captain. You ask if you want to know my favorite Star Trek episode of all time. I mean, we'd have to kind of go by show, right? In the original series, it's Doomsday Machine. The restored version, the remastered, because the special effects are so amazing. It looks so great. The colors pop, and it's just an amazing episode. Deep Space Nine. Wow, there's so much good stuff. I'm going to have to start showing you guys some clips, some great clips in Deep Space Nine. Of course, In a Pale Moonlight is everyone's favorite. I think everyone mentions that, and it is probably the best Deep Space Nine episode, right? Garak is so awesome in it. I mean, the whole scene in the end when Cisco comes in and knocks him across the tailor shop, and Garak basically, he basically says, you wanted me to do that. You needed me to do that. And here's why. It's brilliant. That's a brilliant episode. And there's a lot of great stuff. There's a lot, a lot of great stuff. I just saw an episode. It's Way of the Warrior. I'm pretty sure it's Way of the Warrior. Beginning of Way of the Warrior 1, where Garak gets attacked by the Klingons, and he's sitting in the sick bay telling Bashir, and Bashir is, says, "Oh, sorry, you get beat up or whatever," and Garak is like, "Oh, but I got in many stinging barbs. My wounds will heal, but theirs will last a lifetime." I mean, it's so great. And then his scene later, where he and Quark are sitting at the bar, and Quark has Garak try root beer. That is the best scene in all of Star Trek. It is epic. We'll get that and show it to you guys. I don't want to ruin it for you with my bad impression, but that is amazing. Journey to Babel, yeah, great episode. Deep Space Nine, best series. Yes, we agree with you. Last question. Don't want to. With the new Honcho CBS, is there any chance of getting a better deal for Axanar? Probably not. as long as there's still people from the lawsuit there. Inner Light, of course, fantastic episode of Next Generation. Cisco's the best captain. I'm sorry, he's amazing. All right, I'll give Garak that explanation of how the data rod was going to show up, and that works for me. It's that knucklehead. That my cyber stalker Sean O'Halloran. Oh my God, he's so absurd. DS9 is great running jokes through it. How am I self-funding Axanar for? Actually, I'm not self-funding Axanar. I'm self-funding the studio. I sold some props. Dave. There's my good friend Dave Hummel. Dave, who ran my game store, who is one of my clanmates in Battlefield 5. Good night. Emperor protects. Live long and prosper, Dave. All right. Hey, what do we say? Be nice. Be nice. Everyone be nice. Be excellent to each other. Charles Williams says, root beer helps me with my nausea after chemo. Well, God bless you. You know, we're with you, Charles. Mark, what? That super chat just disappeared. Mark Percy, $20 super chat. Thank you, Mark. We appreciate it. Live long and prosper. Looking forward to the finished product. Thanks for all you do. Dude, guys, thank you for all you do. Right? Let's thank the fans. I mean, you guys, there's 217 of you watching this at 11:13 at night. We've been on for like 2 hours, right? And you guys are just amazing. So, thank you. Listen, I could do this all night, but we probably need to wrap it up so this video ends. I'm going to listen. Here's the thing I'd like you guys to do. I'd like you to send me questions in advance next time. Okay. We will always try and read through the chat. And listen, our Patreon, if you're a member of our Patreon, we jumped like $50 just during the Axanar Confidential. We're up to $742. Thank you so much. We posted our first exclusive video to the Ares Studios Patreon. For if you donate $5 or more a month, you get all the Axacon videos. And there you go. It's awesome. Thank you so much for your support, guys. We will, maybe in a week we'll cross the $1,000 mark. We're slowly creeping up there. You guys are amazing. We love you for that. And that's about it. So we could go on forever. You guys are amazing. And thank you. God, you guys just keep going. Can you please change the Axanar Studios to the Ares? All right. To the Ares Studios? I'm not sure. Okay, thank you. Well, now some of you are giving me permission to go to bed, so thank you. Listen, Tuesday nights, we may have to change that because I coach on Tuesday nights typically, although I could do it from the road, but we may start going Axanar Confidential on Mondays and then Real Trek on Fridays, okay? Because, listen, as long as you guys want to talk about Axanar, I'll talk about it. I'm going to try and have something unique and interesting for you next week. And when you want to talk Star Trek, come to Real Trek on Friday nights. This Friday night, we're going to talk Orville and Discovery. And my special guest, JP Poole from Egotastic Fun Time. He's awesome. We're going to bring him in, and he's going to join us, and we'll go from there. So there you go. Thank you so much, everyone. We appreciate your support. You guys have been nothing short of gracious and amazing. I want to be better for you guys, and I think if I have some questions in advance that I can just rattle through, it'll enlighten everyone, and I'll spend less time reading. Okay? So that's it for now. Go out. Be nice to people, do good deeds, and rescue some dogs. I am into dog rescue, and I want you all to rescue a dog. So that's it for now. Live long and prosper, everyone. And we'll see you next week. Just stay tuned to our YouTube channel for when we're going to be hosting it. All right, man. I love you guys.